Pateron. Well, hi friends. I'm in beautiful Colorado, and I have time to uh, do this video for you, and hopefully I'll get it uploaded. I don't know if I'll get it uploaded while I'm here or when I'm back, but I wanted to bring out the camera because I want to keep teaching you friends about food and sustainable living. And I'm hoping that you're enjoying the videos. I'm walking by a beautiful garden site here, and look at this. They've got wood chips, and I bet you they're going to be using that for their back to Eden garden. Now in this video I want to talk about a little bit more about garden placement. The success or failure of your garden is going to be where you place it. And I talked about this before, about the sun, and the shadows and everything, and trees. But the other thing that you want to keep in mind is also drainage. When we lived in Idaho, there are floods, and we have a lot of rain in the spring, and it's the same thing in Georgia. So much rain throughout the whole winter. So one of the things you want to consider when you're thinking about your garden plot is your the drainage and where the water goes when it rains. You want good draining soil, obviously, and you want a good spot where water is not going to become an issue. And also putting it in a spot where you can water the garden. You don't want, like this here, they have irrigation. You see how they have the drip hoses, which is awesome. But if you don't have the economic or financial means to use drip irrigation, and I don't, drip irrigation is fine. The back to Eden garden is going to eliminate the need for drip irrigation, but still in our garden, we made sure we had a spigot right in the garden. So when we created our garden spot, we actually said, this is the garden spot, and we made sure that we had a spigot right in the middle. So when you're choosing your garden spot, think about how you're going to get the water to it. How are you going to water it? So that's another consideration. The other consideration is the elements, not just the sun, but the wind. There are places where there's a lot of wind, and it can really damage your crop, your vegetables. So think about how much protection from the wind that garden's going to get. And also, finally, is predators. We know bunnies and deer and elk and all those predators, animals can come in and destroy a garden. So do you have to fence in your garden? Is that going to be a big expense? Do you have maybe a garden picked up, a spot picked up close enough to the house where that's not going to become a concern? Like here it's wide open, and I know they have the elk come down, but it seems like this is not a concern because nothing here is fenced in. So they're pretty blessed here. But you may live in an area where you're like, our house was right abutted to the woods, so we did have deer come in. In fact, we used them in the fall to actually clean up the garden. But you don't want them in your garden, obviously, during prime season. So think about that. All right, that's my little clip for today, and I hope you learned something, and God bless you all.